Hey guys, Nick here again. Back to talk about The Walking Dead. Specifically, the comics. I have not done any videos on the comics yet. I mean, I've talked about them a lot, but I've never done a review of any of the issues. And, I thought about it, but I'm like, I don't know. I've been kind of on the fence about it for a while, and I've just spent so much time thinking about it that for the last few issues, while I was thinking about it, just too much time passed, and I'm like, there's not even any point now. But issue 167 came out today, and yeah, I want to talk about it. Just a heads up, this is probably going to be very rambly. Usually I have my phone with little notes that I took. I literally just finished reading it like a couple minutes ago, and I'm still processing what I just saw. Now, because I want to talk about it, I am going to be discussing spoilers, some pretty big spoilers, so if you want to read it for yourself, or if you want to see what happens on the show, like if you don't want any kind of idea of what's going to happen, then maybe you shouldn't watch on. In fact, I highly recommend not watching on if you haven't read the comics. But here it goes. I'll just come right out and say it. Andrea's dead. I couldn't believe it. I really truly could not believe that it happened. I mean, yes, Andrea died on the show, but as far as I'm concerned, Andrea on the show and Andrea in the comics are two completely different characters. Andrea in the comics is one of the best characters. Andrea in the comics was one of the best characters. On the show, she had moments, but honestly, she had too many bad moments. Too many moments where I was just like, I really truly hate you. And a lot of people did. I'm not alone in that. I mean, okay, I didn't hate Andrea outright. I didn't just hate her on sight. I was frustrated at some of the dumb things that she did. I mean, like, I understood why she did most of them, but just too often they frustrated me, and nothing she did frustrated me more than in the season 3 finale, the one where she died. She's tied up. I mean, she's literally handcuffed in a room by the governor. She was put there by the governor, and the governor has stabbed his lab rat friend Milton and left him there to turn and bite her. But while Milton was grabbing the tools that the governor told him to grab, he dropped them, but actually left like some kind of cutter, some kind of tool. I don't know exactly what it was, but something that she could use to cut herself free. And as he was dying, he was giving her instructions, and like whenever he was talking, she stopped. I can't explain why or how. I don't know why she couldn't just talk to him as she was trying to reach with it. I mean, I guess she was trying to pick it up with her toes. I get that that's going to be a little tricky, and it might take a while, but Andrea literally stopped so many times. And sure enough, Milton eventually bled out, and he turned, and it was left kind of vague, and I'm like, oh, there's no way. No way he actually bit her. I knew they were making it look like that, but I'm just like, no way. They're not killing Andrea. No one liked her, but at the same time, no one thought she was going to die. I sure didn't think she was going to die. I mean, I remember a couple weeks before the finale, I had just gotten so annoyed with her that I posted a status on Facebook saying, "Congratulations, Andrea. It only took you however many episodes to realize that Governor is insane. I'm so glad you're going to be here forever." And I'm just, like, that was me just kind of resigning myself to having to deal with her BS, basically, for however long the comics, however long the show and the comics, I guess, were to go. So I did not think they were going to kill her. I really didn't. And just the way they did it, I'm like, they're leaving it kind of vague. They're going to make... She's going to be fine. She's going to be fine. She got Milton. Like, everything's okay. But no, that's not what happened at all. And what happened in the comics was kind of similar to that. In the sense that I didn't think they were going to go there. A couple issues ago, they were having to deal with a huge herd. The biggest they've ever dealt with. And I can't wait till this mega monster ultra herd ends up on the show, because it's going to be insane. But, so the whole group, all the communities, they work together to start pushing the herd towards the ocean, because that's the only way they can deal with them. They'll just let them fall off the cliffs into the sea, and they'll just get swept away and just dealt with. It's over. But, Eugene was one of them. Was one of the ones helping. And he got surrounded, and it looked like he was going to die. And Andrea rode in and quickly picked him up right as the zombies were on him. And this whole time, like, this character Magna, she had been shooting at the zombies as well, relatively near where Eugene was and where Andrea was going. So when Andrea gets Eugene and gets him out of there, and we see a wound on her neck, I mean, they made it apparent, like, oh, is it a bite? But I'm like, no, it's not a bite. It's just a bullet graze. And then in the next issue, I don't think it was the next issue, but eventually, like, when Andrea next got back to Alexandria, she kind of collapsed. And I was like, oh, okay, it could be a bite. But then I started thinking, I'm like, she probably just lost some blood. She's just a little woozy. She'll be fine. But, I mean, even in this episode, this issue, I thought she was going to be fine. But then she just gradually started looking weaker and weaker, just sicker and sicker. And I'm like, this is it. This is actually when Andrea dies. And I mean, it was rough. It really was. It was really, truly heartbreaking to see. One of the saddest moments in the comics in a long time. I mean, just... And Rick was there by her bedside. And he was just... He was broken. He was utterly, truly broken. Like, we haven't seen Rick Grimes on the show broken this much yet. We've seen him broken. We've seen him broken after Lori died, after Negan killed Abraham and Glenn in the premiere. But, I mean, if Andrew Lincoln can deliver the performance, a performance that accurately portrays what Rick went through in this issue, he's gonna deserve an Emmy. Like, if he can pull that off, it'll be amazing. It'll be heartbreaking to watch. And Andrew Lincoln's a great actor, so I trust him. I think when the time does come, it'll be something. But, of course, there's a problem there, because Andrea is dead already on the show. So, does that mean it's going to be... Because Andrea was Rick's girlfriend. That never happened on the show. Him and Michonne. That happened. That's happening. And I'm wondering if they're going to kill Michonne in this way. Because Michonne is still alive in the comics. So, this would be something. So, yeah, I mean, it would have to be... It'll be someone really close to Rick. So, I mean, in that same way, it could be Carl. But I don't think it will be. It could also be Daryl. Rick has called Daryl his brother. And, I mean, that could be rough to see. Or conversely, it could be like Michonne is the one who dies this way. But in the comics, what happened was when Andrea was dying, Michonne was comforting Rick. She comforted him after he finally put her down. And I think that maybe Daryl could fill that role on the show because obviously Rick and Daryl are really close. Or it could be Carl too. Although Carl had started calling Andrea Mom, and Michonne looks like even more of a mom. She acts more like a mom to him. I don't mean that as a knock on Andrea as a surrogate mother in the comics. I just mean Michonne just... like, it was almost instant with Michonne. So, I mean, just that moment when they lost her, it was basically Carl lost his mother all over again. So yeah, I think maybe leave that alone. Leave it the way it is. But yeah, I mean, it was really, really heartbreaking to see. It was one of the most heartbreaking moments of the comic so far. I know, like I said, I knew this was going to be pretty rambly, but that's how I feel. In fact, I'm sure I'm going to watch this video back and I'm going to be like, I did not make any sense. I mean, that's how much it affected me. That's how shook I am right now after what I just read. So good. This is one of the best issues of the comics I've ever read. I mean, usually they're pretty good. Sometimes they're really good. Once in a while, they're amazing. This is among the best, in my opinion. Seriously. And it even had a letter, a personal handwritten letter from Robert Kirkman in the end. He's never done that before. Like, they got the letter hacks thing, and he does comment there, but this is like a straight message, a letter from him. And only him. Like, in letter hacks, it's him and a couple of the editors. This is just him. And he's explaining how he didn't want to kill Andrea, but at the same time, it felt right. And, you know, I get it. It kind of did, in a way. It was sad, but it didn't feel gratuitous, and it didn't feel stupid. Because, honestly, Andrea's death on the show, the way it went, I thought it was pretty stupid. She did not really go out with a lot of dignity. Here, she went out with a lot more dignity. It was basically the same. I mean, she got bit on the neck, and she died surrounded by people she cared about. But the way things happened, the things she said, there was a lot more dignity to it. So, yeah, I'm going to miss Andrea in the comics. The show, like, I've pretty much forgotten about her. Pretty much everyone else has forgotten about her. The fans never really talk about her anymore. Like, there have been characters that have died that still leave an impact, like Glenn and Abraham, of course. And also Herschel, Lori, Shane, Dale, even to an extent. But no, Andrea has basically been forgotten by now. She didn't have the same impact on the show that she had in the comics. But I mean, you know, they are two different mediums, so yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I am going to keep this channel active in the meantime before the next season comes back. I might keep reviewing issues of the comics as they come out. They come out the first Wednesday of the month. So maybe if the next one's any good, I'll do a review of it. And if it's not, then I won't. But in the meantime, I am going to continue reviewing the Telltale game. We have the first 2 episodes up. I'm editing the 3rd one. I have not yet played the 4th one. I want to so badly, but my brother insisted on being present for it. And to be fair, it would be more entertaining with him. So yeah, that's all I got so far. I've got some video ideas in mind, and I will put them out as I can. And yeah, I'll see you next time.